All right. So it's Monday. It's Monday. It's Thursday, March 26th, 2020. We're still in Canada at the start of the ramp up into the peak. And life is very, very different. I got a door jam, my first door jam. I've been living in apartments for years and years and years, but that little voice at the back of your head at 2 o'clock in the morning says, "What was that sound?" It's hard to ignore. So I bought a door jamb from Amazon, came in a couple of days, and even though my door is like paper thin, that does give me a bit of a sense of security. One thing I realized this evening is that this crisis is going to be a boon for software developers. I know that's totally not correct thinking, but in a way it is, because one of the things that the world is going to have to do is to make sure people are not carrying the disease. There's no way you can allow infected people the kind of rights and liberties that we had a year ago, or 6 months ago, like 2 weeks ago. It's going these days. Nobody wants that. No, we're all collectively sharing this civilization reset. It's going to be one of these memories that is going to live for generations. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, people will be saying, back in 2020, when was the moment that you really got scared shitless? And we'll all have a story about that. But we just can't promiscuously travel the planet with gay abandon anymore. We have to make sure that this disease does not get transmitted. Eventually it will probably be down to the level of the common influenza flu that everybody gets and kills millions every year. But by then we'll have vaccines, we'll have prophylactics, things that prevent you from getting it. We'll have cures, we'll have treatments. Pneumonia, for example, it's a bacteria, and there's a whole decades of science in terms of how to inoculate people against it. So we'll eventually get there, but we're not going to get there for 5, perhaps 10 years. So there's going to be a phase where we'll need to continue in kind of a slowly relaxing containment mode. And in order to do that, we're going to have to identify people who've basically been tested and retested and certified, yeah, this person does not have, not only does this person not have the coronavirus, COVID or SARS-CoV-2 or something, the actual virus name, which creates the COVID disease. And perhaps those individuals that have been infected and have antibodies, in other words, they can't get reinfected. That's the current prevailing thought. In order to do that, you're going to need, like, I've had the Nexus Card for years, and I love it. It's a very intrusive surveillance state card because you get a retinal scan, you sit down with an immigration guy for a half-hour interview, but boy does it lubricate travel. I just zip through check-in. There's always a Nexus Card line that hardly has anybody in it. When I go into the States, or when I used to go into the States, I would just barrel right through, and the joke for me was to, kind of look at all the traffic lined up waiting to get in, saying, thank you all for not getting your Nexus Card. Anyway, we're going to need basically a Nexus Card on steroids. Something that's going to have some verifiable bit of data that says Doug Farmer has been exposed to the virus, he has the antibodies, don't worry about him coming into your country. And in order to do that, it's going to require a lot of technology and a lot of software. Mobile app software, back-end software, open source software, ways for people to effectively use the data for generic, non-identifiable purposes, like how many people are certified as a percentage of population in Germany. You know, do I want to go there if like only like 2% of the people have been exposed to the disease? So anyways, yeah, in a really, really twisted sort of way, I think the software development community is going to be able to really provide a critical service. And it'll be interesting to see how, you know, it's a supply and demand thing, right? So when there's a low supply and a high demand, you can charge really great prices. But capitalism, in that, from that perspective, is what's got us into this fucking mess to begin with. Now I need to eat, I need to buy beer and stuff like that, but I wonder, there's a value to fulfilling a sort of a spiritual level desire to do good with your craft that transcends money. In other words, it has like money has personal value to me, of course it does, but also other stuff has personal value to me at the same level, and very often higher than money. How much would you pay to watch a fantastic sunset? $10, $100, $1,000? You can watch them for free. You just got to appreciate the value in the sunset. And I'm wondering if how many developers will want to, you know, bottom line, lower their rate, especially after a horrific recession, which will, I'm certain, is going to kick into a depression scale event economically. If you've been like eating Kraft dinner for a year and a half, and suddenly somebody says, "We'll pay you $100 an hour, but if you're a nice guy, would you do it for 25?" I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know. Anyway, I love doing these vlogs, and I love watching them. So I'm trying to improve my lighting. I think I should shoot during the day. This is a cloudy, rainy day, half hour or so before sunset. So I brought in another light, and it's still, the video quality is a bit too grainy for my elitist photography tastes. Anyway, be safe, and we'll talk to you later.